Okay, guys and gals, for anybody that was interested in the dual exhaust setup that I was doing and how it was going to come out, how I was going to route it, and how it was going to sound, here you go. Alright, so you got obviously your Auto Dynasty headers here. That was easy enough to install. Basically pretty simple. The only thing I had to modify on those was these holes, this one and that one. I just had to ream them ever so slightly because these the Edelbrock headers had a space section versus a hole, so it was easy to mount those, whereas these, it's holes rather than a space, so had to ream it a little bit. Alright, but now, under here, alright, up here was kind of interesting, because that section right there, that 90 degree right there, actually was the one for, well, I don't know if you can see it, but up in, well, in there. Originally, I bought two 90-degree pipes to put in here because the one that the angle that this originally came at with this pipe, that one was at a 45-degree angle. The one over here was a 90. So I had to cut that one off and this one off, and I did a 90 here and a 90 there, but the 90 that was there sat this pipe down to, like, I don't know, right here-ish. So I was like, nah, not gonna happen, no ground clearance. So then I decided, hey, I'll go Frankenstein, which is what I did right there. And I took the section from this other piece over here, put it here, clamped it. What I did was I put a couple of couplers on the inside, and then I kind of used this thing right here as a sleeve to create like one giant section, because when I cut the section off with the pipe and everything, it didn't quite go long enough. It was hitting the oil pan, so I had to extend it a little bit. So a little ingenuity, and it went a long way. Then over here, basically 90 coupler, and then they're gonna come out, down, X pipe, down to the glass packs, and then I haven't finished the tailpipes yet, and there was so much modification. Put in, cut, so on and so forth. All kinds of measurements. But then, you know, down here, obviously, up and over the axle, and then they're coming one out there, one right there. But what I'm going to do, because it's almost impossible, I've tried a couple different things, and I'm just not wanting to make 15,000 more cuts. Instead of having to go out the back, like, you know, dual exhaust should, I'm going to do what I did before. It came out behind the tires, I went straight across with a 45-degree angle, and then I angle cut it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to run them both straight out there, 45-degree angle, so it comes at a slant, and then I'm going to angle cut the tips, so it's going to look like it did before, but with two instead of one. So that's the gist of this exhaust. Up and over the axle, down back through, cherry bombs. There's the X pipe, duals, all the way to the front. And I checked everywhere, fronts all the way to the back, everything. The drive shaft, there's clearance, about inch and a half. The torsion bar here, there's about again, inch and a half. Knuckle for the drive axle. Again, there's clearance there. There's clearance over. There's about 4 or 5 inches, I think it is, over the axle. There's clearance before and after. There's clearance everywhere. The only place that I ran into an issue, and I'm going to take a blade, probably a Sawzall. I don't have one right now, but I'm going to cut it soon. This right here. This is probably the mount for the seatbelt in there, I'm imagining. But it touches right here. It doesn't whack up against it or anything. I had the car running a minute ago. It doesn't hit it and bounce. It just vibrates. I imagine that's going to cause damage over time, though, so what I'm going to do is just stick a little Sawzall blade in there, just zip that end piece right off, and then it'll be fine. Alright, and now, to hear it. Sounds pretty good. It's not complete, obviously. The tailpipes still have to be finished, but you'll get the gist. I mean, it's going to sound the same thing, just right now without the tailpipes. So, one sec. Okay. In the engine bay. Nice and quiet. No leaks. No nothing. I checked under the undercarriage. So far, no leaks anywhere, which is fantastic. I was thinking I was going to have a few. And then we've got nice and quiet, you know, fairly nice deep tone for just an idle. And then lubrication's not too bad. Still needs to be broken in. Obviously, they're still full of packing and everything. It'll get deeper. The tone will change as it, well, loosens up. And it's still a little on the cold side too, so it's a little raspy. But I don't mind the raspiness. I just care for the performance. I don't care about the rasp. But there you go. So, oh yeah, and like I said before, it's gonna come like basically out maybe, I don't know, here-ish roughly. But inside there, I'm gonna do the 45, so it'll come out somewhere in this section. I'm hoping kind of like maybe in the middle, but it's gonna be angled this way. Only at a slight angle, not straight back, just